What is going on, guys? So today I'm going to talk about 5 legitimate reasons why you shouldn't join the Army. So a couple of years ago, I actually made a video on 5 reasons why you shouldn't join the Army, and that was a little bit more geared towards the Army and what is it about the Army specifically that may make you not want to join into an organization like that. These 5 reasons are going to be more geared towards how you feel, your thought process, your environment, things like that. Not necessarily don't join the Army because, you're locked into a 4-year contract or something. Now, moving into the first point and the first reason that you shouldn't join the military, I do want to mention here, because I made a video about this a couple of weeks ago or so with the whole Iran stuff. I made a video saying, guys, don't worry about the news, don't pay attention to the news, because the only thing that's going on right now with the whole Iran stuff is, yes, there's always the possibility of going to war, but, there was that break in time with not having impeachment and stuff going on, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, there's nothing on the news about Iran because it's all over, because the news fluctuates and goes crazy all the time. So, that video, I just want to say, if you watch that, it's almost kind of like an I told you show. I mean, things could always go bad, but you don't hear nothing about it anymore. So people just totally blew it up. And so the first point, the first reason why you should not join the Army, the military in general, is if you do not want to deploy. And that's not you don't want to go to war. I don't think anybody really wants to go to war. If you do want to go to war, I've talked about that, that's not something good. You shouldn't necessarily want to go over and just kill people like crazy. Like, that's not something that you should want to do. But if you don't want to deploy, if you don't want to be stationed in Europe, if you don't want to do something like that where you're super far away from home for a long period of time, if that's something that you don't want to do, then you should definitely consider not joining. And so now the second reason of why you shouldn't join, and probably the biggest reason if you're married, and that is your spouse just does not want to have anything to do with you joining the military. They hate it. They don't like the idea of you being gone for like a year at a time. They don't like the idea of y'all potentially getting, like I said, stationed in Europe and then being there for like 3 years away from home. If they're just like, they're putting their foot down and you're married, this isn't like, oh, you have like a girlfriend or something. If you're married and your spouse is objecting to it like majorly, then you should probably consider not joining. If they're kind of on the fence about it, then you might consider doing like a reserves or guard thing. If you can, talk them into, be like, hey, you're only gone for a certain period of time and then you're back home, kind of like a normal, day-to-day life. So you might be able to convince them to do that. But if they're super like, heck no, I don't want you to do this, then honestly, I think personally you should respect that and not join, or at least maybe work on it for a couple of years and then maybe try to, tell me like, this would be good, this would be good. But ultimately, being in the military and having a spouse that absolutely hates you being in the military if you're active duty, or possibly even for the reserves, like, that's just a lot of stress on your relationship, on your life, some stuff that I don't think that you should want to deal with. All right, so the third reason of why you shouldn't join the military, and that is if one of your reasons of why you want to join is you just want to get away from everything. You just want to get away from life. Maybe you got some stuff going on in your hometown or something and you just got to get away. Or maybe you were dating somebody and you broke up and you're just like, I just got to join the military because I just got to get away from this, got to get away from her, the situation, whatever. If that is a major driving force of why you want to join the military, I definitely think you should like rethink things and like, take a look and step back from the situation, because you're making essentially, in my opinion, a long-term life-changing decision based off of some kind of short-term circumstances. Even if you do have a bunch of, bad stuff going on and you just want to get away, maybe you want to get away from your family or something, a lot of times those are temporary situations. You could, get a job in a different state. You could do something like that. And then later on, if you still want to join the military and the reason isn't just to get away from whatever the situation is, then you can consider it. But if you're just like, I just want to get away from whatever it is, I don't think that that's the smartest decision for you, because you're locking yourself into that contract. And if that's the real reason why you want to join, and it's not just because you want to be in the military, you want to be a part of that atmosphere, then there's a pretty good likelihood that it's not going to be something that makes you happy and feel fulfilled with your work that you're doing in the Army. Alright, so the fourth reason of why you shouldn't join the Army, and this one is probably the case for actually a lot of people, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't join ever, but I do not think that you should join the military if the job that you have kind of selected, or maybe your recruiter has pushed on you a little bit, if it's not at least within like the realm of interest that you have, or within the realm of, you know, jobs that you'll be okay with working, then I definitely don't think you should do that. If you're going in to do, for example, myself, I wanted to be a 25 Bravo. I luckily enough was able to get that 25 Bravo position, but that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do anything else. You know, I was a little bit more hard-headed on that, but again, luckily I got the job that I wanted, but I didn't really want to do anything else. And I do not think it would have been a smart decision for me to pick another MOS, even if, you know, there was no other options available at the time. You can always come back at a later date, and there may be more positions available if you're, you know, obviously okay with waiting a little bit of time to actually get the job that you want, or again, at least in the realm of jobs that you're okay with working, because not everybody is going to get the specific job that they want. Not everybody's going to be qualified for the job that they want, but if you're okay with working that job, then okay, that's fine. But if you're just like, I don't really know if I want to do this, but my recruiter said it's a good job, or maybe there's a bonus attached to this job versus the other one, then that's not a great idea either, joining for the bonus. And that brings me to the fifth and final reason why not to join the military, and that is for the money. And that's either the bonus that you're gonna get or just the steady pay income that you're gonna have from being in the military. And you may be wondering, like, who in the world joins the military for money? Because, you know, everybody knows the military doesn't get paid all that much. In my opinion, the military actually gets paid a pretty fair amount of money. Obviously, if you're like the lowest ranks in the military, you're not gonna get paid that much. Like an E1 makes like $16,000, $18,000 a year or whatever. You're not even an E1 for that long, but you're gonna be basically making a little bit over $20,000, mid $20,000 for the first couple of years that you're in the military, but that's at the same time, you don't have a lot of expenses that you have as a normal civilian. And then on top of that, it is a steady job. Like, you don't have to worry about getting fired from your military, you know, job slash contract or whatever, unless you just do something super, super bad and you get a dishonorable discharge. All you have to do to get your paycheck is just do what you're told, and, you know, you can still complain about it while you're doing it, but you just gotta do what you're told and you're gonna get paid. And that's very appealing to a lot of people. Some people, like I said, are gonna join because of that bonus that you're gonna get. $10,000 bonus, I mean, it sounds like a lot of money, but when you consider you're gonna get half of it, and then that's gonna get taxed, and then you're gonna get 25% and 25%, and both of those are gonna get taxed, it's really not all that much money, especially if you don't use it correctly. Even a $40,000 bonus, if you don't use that money correctly, it's not gonna seem like a bunch of money, because if you just blow the first half of your money on like a down payment on a car, then that's just gone. It's not life-changing, it's not anything crazy. So don't join for the money, and don't join for the, you know, steady paycheck. If you're an officer, it might actually be a pretty high paycheck if you're an officer, but it's pretty proven that if you go into a career field just based on the money, you're probably not going to be all that happy. And especially if you are signing a contract for approximately 4 years to do a job that you don't really care about doing, but you're only doing it for the money, then that's going to be a pretty unhappy 4 years. All right, so those are 5 reasons of why I personally feel that you should not join the military. So you can agree with me, disagree with me. Again, those are just my personal opinions, but that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, that would be awesome. If you want to check out some more of my videos, hit the subscribe button, that would be even better. And of course, hit the notification bell button if you really want to make my day. I hope you guys have an amazing freaking day, and I will see y'all later.